Per usual, my producer brought up a interesting question, interesting word, and it stayed on my mind. Are you a patronizing kind of person? That's our word today, patronizing. Listen to this definition. Patronizing is the act of appearing kind or helpful, but internally feeling superior to others. And it says this happens in multiple forms, including constantly interrupting people, making belittling comments, and trying to minimize them by being condescending. That was a good question, because the Bible says that we should present ourselves to people as if they're more valuable than us. Now, patronizing is when you really want to tell somebody a truth about themselves, but you figure they can't handle that truth, so you shower them with compliments first. And so you've got all of these wonderful things to say, and then you give them a blow. But you know, you're really a nice person, and you're really kind, and you're really this, but you do have this particular problem. Then we turn around and we start the compliments again, and then, but you know, you always seem to do this. And finally, they begin to pick up on it and say, once you start another compliment, they're like, dude, don't patronize me. Just tell me what's on your mind, because now you're treating me like I'm an idiot. You're treating me now as if I have no perception, as if I have no idea what you're doing. So what I'd like you to do is just tell me what's on your mind. Are you that? I have to ask myself, am I that? Am I that patronizing person who actually feels superior to others? So while I am going to belittle you in a particular comment, I realize that I got to kind of butter you up too, so that you're receptive to what I have to say. And actually, that's patronizing. That's not a good thing to do. Interrupting people consistently. It's actually saying what you're saying is not interesting. What you're saying has no value, but you're not bright enough to pick up on what I'm doing. So to let you know that your conversation is bland, I'll just keep interrupting you and get my point across. And then you're shocked when somebody's intelligent enough to recognize it and say, hey, don't patronize me, man. Just tell me what you need to tell me. It's an interesting thought. It's an interesting word, a word I hadn't crossed my mind in a number of years. Am I being patronizing, or am I dealing with people because I realize they're of value too, and they bring something interesting to the table? Okay? Is that you? Are we guilty of that? Of saying, well, you know, basically I'm superior in intellect, but I will tolerate your demeaning conversation until I'm ready to expound on something that I'm very familiar with. The Bible says we need to value each other. We need to value each other, and we need to recognize that what somebody else says is important, because we all do it, and I think in arguments we do it. I've had that problem. That's something that I have to continue to work on, is that if we are in a debate, then I want to dominate it, because I know my point got to be the right one, so it should dominate, when in essence, that can be very patronizing. And so it's a good term. Good thought. The Bible says value others even more than yourself. And it just means consider their position too. It's not demeaning to you. It's not saying you're not of value. It's saying recognize that others have value. Their conversation, their points have value just like yours. Good term. Are you patronizing? Think about it.